Ah, bonjour tout le monde. Le film aujourd'hui, c'est High Tension, which is a French language film. I watched the version with subtitles so I could understand it fully, though I can speak very minimal French, so... but yeah, subtitles. Good times. It is a suspense-style, psychological, I don't know what you would call it, film, but from France. And yeah, here we go. So this one was recommended to me by a friend. Good call. I did enjoy it. I'll give the rating at the end, of course. As usual, spoiler alert, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to go into this anymore. I'm going to be talking about the movie. So just, you know the drill. Just exit the hell out of here if you don't want to hear about it. Anyway, maybe I should start putting timestamps with like just the ratings. You can skip the overview. I'll figure out how to do that. I don't know. I'm old and I don't know technology, so. Anyway, so the story goes, these two friends are on a little road trip to go study together at one of the friends' parents' farmhouse or whatever. So we have Alex and we have Marie. So they are driving to Alex's fam's place. They end up arriving pretty late. The dad's still up doing some work, but the mom's out pretty much. Well, yeah, the kid is like exhausted, but the little brother stayed up to like see his sister or whatever. So very cute. So that's fun. There's they get her settled in. She's staying in the guest room at the I guess it's like it looks like one of those 2.5 story places. So like the upper level isn't like a full. Whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, she goes to her room, she puts on some tunes, flicks the bean a little bit, you know, just whatever you gotta do to relax and unwind. And they show, there's an old truck that's approaching that, at the very beginning of the movie, there's a really fun scene where the driver of the truck is getting a little bit of a blowy on the road there, and it turns out it's from a severed head, which he throws out the window, so that's fun. And they say romance is dead, you know? I don't know. Anyway, so that truck starts coming down the road towards the house now. It's like way after dark now, and everyone's like getting into bed and whatnot. Alex just put her little brother to bed, and the dad's working late, and he's finishing up, and he goes upstairs and climbs in, and yeah, she's flicking the bean and doing her thing when the truck pulls up to the house, and there's bright lights, and their little dog starts barking. Well, it's not little, it's like a St. Bernard or something, but anyway, dog starts barking like crazy, wakes the dad up when he rings the doorbell, like, persistently, and the dad's like, tap on neck, so he just goes down the stairs, and he's like, yeah, I'm coming, he opens the door, and ends up getting smoked in the head, so that's a good time, blood everywhere, the guy gets himself in, he drags the dad's body up the stairs and kicks his head through the railing so he can't pull his head back out, and then boom, a shelving unit takes his head off. So victim number 1, papa. Victim number 2, dog attacks, kills the dog. I mean, yeah, that's like the one line of defense that family has. If you're going to be killing a family, that's what you want to do, I guess, right? So we got 2 victims, dad and dog. Mom comes down the stairs, and you don't see her get killed, but you hear a scuffle, and then she stops, like, making noise, so clearly she's been taken care of one way or another. Then, I can't remember what scene comes next, so I'll just tell them in the order I think they are. So then I think he goes into Alex's room, and you hear struggling. It sounds a little bit like he forced himself on her. I don't know if he did or not, but there's struggling noises and both of them like grunting and shit, and it's kind of gross. But I don't know if that's what happened, but that's like the first thing that popped in my mind. Maybe I'm just fucked in the head, who knows. But anyway, while that's happening, Marie's sneaking around and trying to find some form of weapon. Like, this is nuts. And so she's in the parents' room, and she hears the guy coming out again, and she hides in the closet, and the mom is like dragging herself. She's beaten, I guess. He didn't kill her. She grabs the phone, tries to call the copperooskies, but looks like the phone line was cut, so she's shit out of luck. And even more so, because Buddy Boy there sneaks up behind her, slices her neck, she dead. Saws her arm off with like a straight razor, all while Marie is in the closet, like watching in horror, like she can't do shit. But yeah, that would be pretty traumatizing to see. So that's good times. The mom's, when she gets out of the closet when the guy leaves or whatever, she sees the mom there, and like he cut like almost halfway through her neck, and the mom like comes to, I guess, with her last bit of strength, and I couldn't make out what she said, but she dies in front of her, whatever. And then you hear the little boy running outside into the cornfield screaming, "Mummy, mummy." So it's like, okay. And our good friend, the truck driver, decides to follow the kid, get his shotgun. Boom. Silence, no more screaming, one more boom. So double tapped. Kid is victim number 4, because I guess the mom would have been 3. Yeah, right, okay. Dad, dog, mom, kid. Okay, done. And what happens next? He comes back and he grabs Alex and throws her in the back of the truck, and as I guess Marie is looking for a weapon, she knocks something over and draws his attention, so the guy goes back in the house snooping. I guess he got distracted by family photos because he's looking at pictures or whatever, and Marie's outside with a knife, like watching his every move, ready to strike at some point. She climbs into the back of the truck, I guess, to free Alex, and she hears him coming again, so she's like this with the knife, ready to, as soon as he comes around, to shut the door. But he shuts the door from the side, so she's stuck in the back too. Fun times. Yeah, they drive to for a little bit down the road, and our good friend the truck driver finds a gas station and starts filling up his tank. Marie uses this opportunity she manages to open the door from the inside somehow and sneak out into the convenience store that's attached to the gas station, and she right away tells the clerk, like, call the cops. There, shit's going down, call the cops. And guy doesn't for some reason, I don't know. Anyway, she's like goes to hide as our friend comes into the store, and they're like making small talk, like I guess they know each other maybe or something, I don't know. Yeah, and he needs booze or something, so the clerk goes to get him some booze and opens the thing, and the guy's like, no, I want that kind. I guess he wants the good stock, right? Makes sense. And he's like, okay, and he goes and get it, turns around, only to get an axe right in the chest. So Mr. Truck Driver just axes him right in the chest. I guess it's like, whatever, and then he's walking around like, who are you looking at? Because I guess he saw him looking at Marie or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, he's snooping around. Can't remember exactly what happens, but anyway, he takes off in his truck, and Marie's in the place still, and she's like, oh, fuck. God, it's dusty, eh? It's French, it's not Quebecois. I gotta get that through my little smooth reptile brain. But anyway, French swears are so fun, at least the Quebecois one. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. So she goes to the clerk and takes his keys and takes off in his car. It's like an old, like, muscle car. It's pretty sexy. Follows him down the highway a bit and then down a dirt road, but she's tired, so she eventually loses him, and she's like, fuck. So she keeps going down the road. She's like, I'm gonna see him eventually anyway. She has her lights off, by the way, so it's like stealthy or whatever. Anyway, turns out this guy must have pulled somewhere and pulled out again as soon as she passed, because all of a sudden his truck's behind her with no lights, and he turns the brights on, and she's got a gun that she took from the clerk, but there's no bullets in it because our friend here like took them out, and he's laughing and he dumps them out the window, so that's fun. She doesn't have a gun. He ends up ramming her off the road. She flips her car. It's totaled. She's hurt, bleeding a little bit. There's like I don't know what they are. Is it like a campground or a greenhouse or something? But there are buildings there, and they're all dilapidated and grown over and whatnot. So she goes in. She finds like a rag, patches her arm up and whatnot. But this guy is coming around. You can see the flashlight going. So she's like, all right. She finds a piece of wood or like a post or something, and wraps barbed wire on it and whatnot. So she's got a pretty effective weapon if she can catch him, but she follows where the light is, and then it turns out the light's hanging from like a little string. So he totally set her up and lured her out. And then he throws like a plastic tarp over her face and is like basically suffocating her, and she goes down for the count, not like eternally but consciously. And the guy's she's on the ground, and the guy's like all talking weird, like, what do you want with Alex anyway? And she turn you on, she turns me on, huh? Anyway. So she eventually comes to again and breaks free and ends up going Negan on this guy, like barbed wire wood to the face type deal. It's very lovely. But he's still alive, and she leans over him to like make sure he's dead, and he like chokes her, and she's like putting the bag over his head, or the tarp or whatever, and so he's out again, and I guess all's well that ends well. He's presumed dead. She runs back out to the truck and like frees Alex and takes her gag out, and she's like, okay, he's dead, I killed him, we're good. And she's so she kills him or whatever, and in the meantime the cops finally show up to the gas station. I guess they trace the call or whatever, because she ended up calling the cops before she left or whatever. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Because they must have traced the call or something, and they find the clerk's body, and one of the cop-rooskies is looking through the filmage. I've got away with words, eh? So he's looking through the film, and he sees the video footage of the clerk getting axed, and it turns out it's footage of Marie axing the clerk. So right away it's like, okay, we got a split personality here. Which I will get to something later that kind of irked me, but whatever. Anyway, so that's the twist. What a twist. So she is the truck driver. So I don't know if their fight was like an inner struggle in her brain or something, which makes sense. Even at the beginning of the film, she has like a nightmare of her chasing herself through like the woods. So I guess that kind of makes sense. So where was I? Right, so she goes into the back of the truck and is like undoing the chains off Alex and takes the gag off. And she'd given Alex a knife to defend herself in case she didn't come back at the gas station. But with that, Alex pulls the knife and holds it on Marie, like, you freaking psychopath, like, what are you doing? You killed my family. And Marie's not getting it, because her split personality obviously is so bad that she can't comprehend that she's both personalities or whatever. Which, I mean, I don't know much about split personality or whatever, but I mean, I guess that it probably makes sense. Anyway, blah blah blah. I guess the rejection or whatever snaps Marie back into this truck driver's persona, because then it shows like the actor playing the truck driver taking over, and occasionally it'll show clips of Marie in the same position. But anyway, he grabs like this power saw. I don't even know what it is. Is it for like breaking into cars or something? Like, I don't really know, but it's like a huge ass saw. Like, this is me, and the blade is probably like this, maybe like that. It's big. Anyway, she's chasing Alex with the saw, and Alex sees a road and jumps onto the road, and car swerves to miss her and kind of gets half in the ditch. And the guy's like, you okay? She jumps in the back of the car, and she's like, we gotta go. And he's trying to start the car. Car won't start, of course, because it's a movie where there's a killer, so cars don't start in those. We know that. I say like it's a bad thing, but I kind of love horror movie tropes, so I don't mean that in a bad way. Anyway, Marie/trucker comes out and climbs on the hood and puts the saw right through, slices the shit out of the driver, who's, well, he's gone. So he's victim number. Okay, what did we do? We did, yeah, dad, dog, clerk, mom, boy. No, dad, dog, mom, boy, clerk, driver. Okay, so he's number 6, and blood flying everywhere. So she, like, Alex is all soaked in blood completely, looking mint. And he starts going through the window on the side of the car to get her in the back seat, and he stops for a sec, and he's like making fun of her, crying or freaking out or whatever. And then he goes around to the other side, and I guess he's so preoccupied and cutting through the window with a saw that he doesn't see her sneaking out of the car, and she has a crowbar, and there's like a huge shard of glass through like her tendon, you know, the one that connects your heel to your whatever, and So I guess she clearly probably can't walk after that. She pulls it out and like it's deep. It's deep. Anyway, truck driver / Marie is like over her with the saw, and she's like, "You don't really love me, do you? You don't love me, blah 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 blah." So I guess she has the hots for her or something. Good times. If you ever want to get a date, excellent advice. Chase them with a saw, kill their family. They'll fall for you instantly. Foolproof plan. Don't do that, obviously. Right? It's a day and age where there's so many people out there that would take that like I'm actually serious, so I actually have to say that I'm not, which is pretty sad. But anyway, back to the thing. So Alex is like, yes, I do, and I guess Marie snaps back into her persona, and like they start like making out with like blood everywhere, and I guess Alex is going along with it because what other choice does she have? Well, she does have another choice. Crowbar right through the chest. So yeah, so she stabs Marie and I guess escapes. And they cut to a psych ward where Marie is all cut up in the face and everything, and like cleaned up but scars, and she's in there kicking her feet and sitting in a padded room, you know, as you do when you're insane. And Alex is like looking through the window and is like, she can't see me, can you? And of course that's when Marie turns and is like my lover's here, and then it ends. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. It was good. The scenes were done very well. The kills were good. It doesn't show the death of the kid, which is fine. I mean, a lot of horror movies aren't going to do that, but it does pan out in one shot and show like the bodies of the kid, the dad, and the mom. So they do acknowledge that child died. So I mean, that's any movie that kills a child. Again, I'm not for child death, obviously, but it takes balls to include the death of a child. So good job. Yeah, the acting was solid. Overall, pretty damn fun. I'd never heard of this movie before, but I'm glad I saw it, so thank you for the recommendation, friendo. What can I rate it? So I only had one issue with the film, but it might just be me not being smart enough to figure it out. Just some of the stuff, unless it was all going on in her head, which I'm going to assume it is, so it doesn't ruin the movie for me, but like, how was she driving a car and the truck at the same time? How was she... I mean, a lot of the stuff, like the chasing herself and the fighting herself was clearly in her head and whatnot. But like, did she actually take the car? Well, obviously not, because she's one person, so she must have been in the truck and then imagining herself driving the car. There's a little bit of stuff like that kind of didn't quite, you know? But like I said, I'm just going to look at it as if that's all shit that's playing in her head to keep both of her personalities going as separate individuals. So it didn't ruin the movie at all for me, so don't take it as that. It's just one of those things I was like, oh, okay. I guess you have to like actually use your brain, which is kind of a nice change of pace for some movies. I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna say an 8, flat 8. It was good. I would recommend watching it. The DVD I have of it, I had to order it because I couldn't find it streaming on anywhere, but the DVD I have, you can either watch with the subtitles or with a dubbed version, or just the original French language version with like no subtitles or dubbing and whatnot. So I watched the subtitle one. Dubbing would be fine too, because, you know, whatever. I watch Godzilla movies, so I'm used to dubbing. So that would be good. I might rewatch it with the dubbing to see if it's any different, but yeah, subtitles is good. But if you don't like subtitles, there is a dubbed version on the US Canada release. So that's it. That's the story. Yeah, solid 8. Good movie. Thanks again for the recommendation. All right, peace.